Hello everyone, today we will be repairing this broken transistor tester. Why is it broken? Well, this little tester I reviewed in one of my previous videos, and if you click the button, it's supposed to turn on, but if I click the button, nothing's happening. The battery, I have charged the battery, but it still doesn't work. So, I think we are going to have to troubleshoot this thing. So let's just remove the screw. I have removed basically all the screws already. And here's the inside. So, over here, let's get rid of the battery. For some reason, we have an AMS1117 5-volt regulator chip that you absolutely cannot read from my camera. And I have actually had problems with this AMS1117 regulator. So far, this is the third one of these regulator chips that has failed on me. The first one that failed killed one of my Arduinos. The second one that failed was on a power supply board. The third one was also on this power supply board, and I have replaced it with a proper size 5-volt regulator. And I guess this is the fourth one then. AMS1117, and I'm going to replace it with another one of these voltage regulator chips. Let's see if I can find one of them. Here's one right here. So first of all, let's get to desoldering. That chip is already broken as it is, so I am just going to clip off all of the legs and then bend this out of the way. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, the pad lifted. That's okay, it doesn't even need to be there. And now this tiny little broken regulator will go into the garbage. So now we need to remove some of the excess solder here. Or I guess there remains the pins that are still on the board. Yeah, I think that's good. So, the pinout of the AMS1117 regulator, pin 1 is, pin 1 is ground, pin 2 is 5 volts, and pin 3 is the input. Yeah, that's how it's wired. So now, let me get my voltage regulator, and this one is wired, pretty similarly. I have done the exact same thing over here, but 2 of these pins need to be swapped positions. So let's just go ahead and bend these into position so that I can solder this thing in place. And let's put a piece of wire insulation over one of these wires so they don't short to each other. Yeah, you can see that. Oh my goodness. It's a little tight, but oh yeah, that's very tight. Let's just hope that this thing doesn't break off. It's not very strong. Okay, that seems pretty good. Maybe just... that bit of insulation is a bit too long. Let's remove some of this. Yeah, put insulation on just to immediately remove it again. How economical. That's better. So now they have no risk of shorting, and I can plop it on like so. Now, let's just bend all these pins back down, arrange it like so, and turn on the fume extractor. Then get my roll of solder, and start reapplying some solder onto these pins. Okay, that's soldered. Now let's add some more to these other pins. Okay, now I have completely replaced the regulator, and now let's plug the battery back in and see if it still works, or if it works. No, doesn't work. The regulator chip is still a little hot from the soldering. Maybe I should let this cool down. Uh-oh, I just realized another issue. Let's zoom in a bit. Well, you can't really see much of anything, but this diode over here, well, you can't see a thing, but there's a diode labeled D7 that if I press the button, that diode gets really hot, and in fact, I think I've actually seen it smoke. Let's see if I can get this thing to blow open. Well, I didn't get it to blow open, but, I just, at the moment, I'd like to test the diode, because even though I don't have the transistor tester anymore, I do have my multimeter here, so it's on the diode test mode. and it might not be a bit hard to see the screen, but I can still see it, and I can tell you if it's showing good characteristics. So let's measure the voltage drop. It is 0.2 volts, which appears to be normal for a Schottky diode, and I do think this is a Schottky diode. And if we take a look at it the other way, I see nothing. So it does appear to be behaving like a regular diode, although I could have sworn that I saw some of the magic smoke coming out of it. But something somewhere is broken, and the voltage regulator does actually feel a bit hot from running this chip. I do not think that replacing this diode will solve this issue, but let's see if the main control circuitry still works. Okay, so I've set up, actually, I have set up a little 5-volt supply over here. Let's quickly check the voltage so that I don't do anything too crazy for now. Okay, so the left one is positive, and the right one is negative. So let's see if this thing tries to turn on at all from the 5-volt. So, I am holding the wires in place right now, and I'm gonna press the button. Nah, it isn't working. And since I don't really feel like reverse engineering this gigantic board, I'm gonna have to concede defeat and say that I am at this moment unable to fix this transistor.